Political pigs, your days are numbered. We are the second American Revolution. We are winning. Yippee!
Au milieu des années 60, le sacre de l'automobile est troublé par la guerre du Vietnam. Rupture générationnelle, contestation contre patriotisme. La tragédie vietnamienne divise profondément la jeunesse. Il y a ceux qui refusent et ceux qui partent. À 15 000 km des champs de bataille, les universités américaines sont devenues un théâtre des opérations.
In the United States, on the East Coast, you have lots of universities. I mean, there are universities everywhere. You've grown up around adults, you've grown up around your parents, you've grown up around authority, and suddenly you find yourself living in a place with thousands of other people exactly the same age as you. There are no young people, but no people younger than you. There are no people older than you. They're just you, about thousands of you, thousands and thousands. And you know, there was just open space. There was the road. There was freedom, and freedoms can make you nervous. It can make you afraid.
L'exutoire, la jeunesse le trouve à Daytona pendant Spring Break, la semaine de vacances de printemps. Une semaine où la jeunesse aisée qui fréquente les universités vient purger ses angoisses sous le soleil de Floride, dans le temple de la car culture.
Suddenly you decide with your friends to go wild. And Florida was a beach pretty close to a lot of the eastern universities. And suddenly you found yourself in teenage paradise. You were away from your parents. Once you were away from your parents, you weren't revolting anymore. What you were looking for was to belong.
Spring break would be the break you'd traditionally spend with your friends from school, you know, and you'd go off somewhere and get lost for a week or a weekend.
This phenomenon of youth culture, you know, the youth quake, as they called it. And of course, you have television disseminating this all over the world. So, you know, something that happens in Fort Lauderdale, a couple of people getting drunk on a weekend and, you know, a fight in a bar becomes an international incident. There was music, there was rock at the time, you know, a kind of music that was, could match the power that you had in your engine. And the soundtrack to your life was guitar music. It was drums, and it was primitive, and it was mean. The music that at the time you wanted to listen to in your car, on your car radio, was dirty and loud.
The impression is created that standards can be unreasonable and impractical, and thereby illegal, only for industry interests.
Dans l'insouciance des 60s, les routes américaines sont devenues des cimetières. C'est l'aboutissement tragique d'un système dont Daytona est la pierre angulaire. Une course à la puissance qui a transformé les voitures en cercueil.
Ralph Nader wasn't an outlaw, he wasn't a hippie, he wasn't a teenage rebel, he wasn't Steve McQueen, he wasn't James Dean.
I want to say a few words about the industry's response to the agency and to the legislative.
En 1966, Ralph Nader est auditionné par une commission sénatoriale. En cause, les normes de sécurité des constructeurs automobiles. L'année précédente, cet avocat de 30 ans, on a dénoncé l'indigence dans un livre qui a divisé le pays.
Donc il a lancé cette bombe dans le marché automobile américain qui était un livre intitulé « Unsafe at any speed », c'est-à-dire dangereux à n'importe quelle vitesse. Je l'ai pas bien ressenti, puisque à l'époque j'étais aveuglé par l'amour de l'automobile, parce que j'adorais les muscle cars, et en fait j'avais bien compris que ceci pouvait être le début d'une fin d'une époque.
unsafe at any speed, and he talked about the Corvair. You could be driving it, not even very quickly, and if you crash that car, it would explode.
À l'origine, une enquête minutieuse sur une voiture abonnée aux accidents. Tenue de route inexistante, problème de freinage, pneus défaillants. La Corvair est en danger public.
And Corvair kept driving, with no need for snow tires or tire change.
Mais derrière la Corvair, il y a Chevrolet et General Motors, le fleuron de l'industrie nationale, dont le patron disait « Ce qui est bon pour General Motors est bon pour l'Amérique ».
Ralph Nader was somebody who showed a lot of young people who the enemy was. And it wasn't just anybody over 30. It was people that were doing something harmful and making a lot of money off of it. That was a bit of an awakening.
Manufacturers refusing to own up to capability.
C'est le combat de David contre Goliath. Mais en dépit des pressions et des menaces, Nader s'obstine et transforme son audition en réquisitoire.
And it can be characterized as such.
Well, Senator Griffith.
May I just make one more point on that last question, Senator? Now, when Henry Ford II and other executives stand up and in effect say that if these standards are imposed, the entire economy of the United States is going to collapse. Workers will be thrown off the jobs. They're indefensible standards. They're tyrannical standards, etc. I don't think that's the kind of communication that is warranted by the facts.
They were making a lot of money selling their cars, and they were making, everybody was happy, win-win. The titans of American industry were getting rich off young people, so everybody was happy until the moment when we suddenly realized that we were being sold something that could kill us, and that not only did the people selling it to you didn't care, but it's almost like they wanted you to die.
Distinguished members of the Congress and administration and friends, over the Labor Day weekend, 29 American servicemen died in Vietnam. During the same Labor Day weekend, 614 Americans died on our highways in automobile accidents. 29 on the battlefield, 614 on the highways.
Un an plus tard, Ralph Nader a gagné. Au pays où la vitesse est une religion, il fait entrer la sécurité routière dans les lois fédérales. C'est une première victoire pour celui qui deviendra le justicier de la société de consommation américaine. Préservé de ce virage sécuritaire, Daytona est devenu un sanctuaire. Sur le speedway, les feux rouges n'existent pas. Les moteurs sont de plus en plus puissants. Vivre, c'est battre des records. Et freiner, c'est perdre. Mais sur les routes, c'est le début d'un changement de mentalité. Ceinture de sécurité, économie de carburant, limitation de vitesse, du conducteur au fabricant, l'Amérique entame un grand ralentissement.
Say, what comes into your mind when you think about the 65 Falcon?
65 Falcon.
This is the most advanced engine.
The big empire.
Big business of America was big cars. The advertising agencies, they had in mind, they spent a lot of time thinking about the person that was going to buy the product. So who is the person going to buy a big car? It's a big man. Big man, big job, wore a big hat. Until the Volkswagen Beetle, which was a little car. Now how do you sell a little car to a guy with a little dick? Or a guy who thinks he has a little dick? It's a pretty scary thing. How are you going to do that? Must have been a huge problem.
Depuis les années 30, la Volkswagen coccinelle a fait un long trajet. Relancée après la Seconde Guerre mondiale, la voiture du peuple vient se frotter au muscle car. Son succès, elle le doit à une campagne révolutionnaire. Avec son slogan « Think Small », le publicitaire William Bernbach prend à contre-pied le mythe américain. En 1972, 15 millions de coccinelles sont sorties des usines Volkswagen. Le record de la Ford Model T est battu. La Beetle est la voiture la plus vendue au monde.
A bug, as he called it. And it was a really ugly little car. It had nothing to do with a car that anybody would want.
you need a vehicle with exceptional traction.
Après avoir poussé à l'extrême les moteurs de ces voitures, l'Amérique des 60s fait un pas de côté. Moins cher, moins dangereux, les petits modèles prennent le pas sur les muscle cars.
Hey, dig this chicken a topless. Oh, pardon us, sir.